good afternoon, and it's a great honor and pleasure of presenting some of our work that we try to do in every CRTDH meeting and of course in the conclave for the last 2 years. I am extremely thankful to the entire CRTDH leadership, including Dr. Sujata, Dr. Shukla, and also Dr. Kailash Petkar, who I am really missing a lot in this particular meeting. And my sincere thanks to Chinmay for organizing this event so excellently, including all logistics. What I am going to do in a short span of about 10 minutes, I will try to go through what we have been trying to learn in the maybe past 5 years or so in CRTDH at IIT Kharagpur. Not so much time I will try to give into every technology, because that is not the scope of this talk, but rather to give an insight of how we have tried to convert our CRTDH from a technology based paradigm to an ecosystem based paradigm, and try to solve things by addressing various challenges. So we got established in 2019, and in fact this is the second phase of our CRTDH. So if we see that what we actually tried to do, we tried to not only sort of develop technologies, but strengthen the collaborative agenda, including MSMEs and also many of the rural personnel who are technically not entrepreneurs, at least to begin with, but try to bring them into an ecosystem so that we can give an end-to-end solution for disease management. And maybe the diagnostic technologies being a focus of our CRTDH, they were major parts of all those solutions, and they are major parts of the solutions, but they are not just the standalone solutions. So what we tried to do from the very beginning is to connect our CRTDH with the rural digital or e-health clinics that have been existing over the years, which were in the sort of early inception known as telemedicine centers. Okay. So these were for quite some time known as telemedicine centers, and what we try to do is to see that what is missing in all these telemedicine centers. So the telemedicine centers have excellent connectivity thanks to the all the 4G, 5G and so on technologies being developed. The remote doctor and the primary healthcare worker, through some software, they are quite well connected. The patient is coming and trying to get the problem solved, but one of the major bottlenecks remains the non-availability and non-accessibility of the diagnostic tests in these rural centers. And from the very beginning, we try to create such a CRTDH model, which not only develops technologies, diagnostic technologies, but also provides training and sort of empowerment to MSMEs on one side and the frontline health workers on the other side, so that it is an end-to-end solution where the solution is not only created by lab to field translation, but also it is adapted more easily. And that is what we try to do. So over these past 5 years, if you say that summarize what we try to do at the end is certain facilities that we have created, and these facilities we have tried to put up a value added proposition by sort of opening it to different stakeholders, starting from free of cost with a nominal fee or sometimes something beyond that. So these are the ones that we have already created, a pilot plan for manufacturing paper based diagnostic kits. Paper based diagnostic kits is one of the major areas in which we have been working on. Device manufacturing and prototyping unit, and these are all very generic units. That means that these units, they do not work just for the particular technologies that we have developed on behalf of the CRTDH so far, but significantly beyond. The test kit and reagent preparation unit, this is very, very important, and we have tried to indigenize all the primers, probes, enzymes development that is required for molecular diagnostics. Thanks to the learnings from the COVID era, we have almost tried to sort of indigenize that to our requirement. Data science R&D unit is very, very important, and we have tried to emphasize on that. Device assembly unit, the biosafety lab up to lab biosafety level 2 is a part of the CRTDH itself. We have a BSL 3 currently being established, but that is not a part of the CRTDH, but done doing separately. Microfluidic cell culture and analysis unit, blood sample processing and analytics unit. We have again an end-to-end solution. The phlebotomist collecting the blood sample and coming with the sort of validation and all those things all taking place under one roof. We have different mobile healthcare units, and one very interesting one is a launch at Sundarbans in collaboration with the Foundation for Innovations in Health led by Dr. Shatadal Saha, and pathology and imaging lab. In fact, on behalf of CRTDH, we have actually set up a new type of pathology lab in our district itself. So these are very different things that as compared to what as an academician I used to know when I started working in this particular project. So I would say that it has been a sort of a great learning, and some of the benefits, infrastructure and state of the art facilities and equipment. We are giving technical advisory for product development centric R&D, training and consultancy, co-development of products and processes with the domain experts, industry academia partnership support in a framework through CRTDH, field trials and clinical validation. We are having a complete end-to-end solution for any diagnostic product that is being developed. Joint IP creation, technology transfer, regulatory compliance. We are also giving consulting on this. We have learned by ourselves, and training, awareness campaign, and social outreach and community health support. These are all being provided with the CRTDH brand, and that is what we have tried to do. So if you see the numbers, of course numbers do not tell everything, but we have already engaged 35 plus MSMEs and startups directly or indirectly through training programs. We have organized 25 plus training programs with them. 14 plus technologies developed in a sense that those have entered into the commercialization pipeline. 150 plus rural entrepreneurs trained, 10 plus e-health clusters formed with the help of the technologies that are being developed, and 2 diagnostics and imaging labs set up. And if you see that the technologies that we have already engaged in, where we have MSMEs as partners, and here today we have one of our partners, one of our major partners, Smart Keyword Technologies. They are present here, and in our exhibition stall we see some of their products, which are basically device free, only strip based finger prick, blood, urine and vaginal swab based tests. So now I am just trying to give a summary of the major technologies that we worked on, and clearly distinguishing between the phase 1 and the phase 2. Phase 1 we just completed in the last year, and I am not going to read out the technologies, but some of the paper based diagnostic solutions, and the COVID diagnostics, COVID app during the COVID period through CRTDH support we developed it, and a portable screening, early screening of oral cancer and pre-cancer. I think these were the 3 major flagship types of products that we developed in phase 1. In phase 2, we have upgraded those. For example, we are showcasing this device free detection of urine glucose and several other parameters. And sickle cell anemia is a project on which we have started working on using the lateral flow assay technology, because this is a Government of India mission mode area in the National Health Mission. Automated chest X-ray classification is something, this again we have learned during the COVID period, and we are trying to generalize it for a solution under acute respiratory distress support. Point of care nucleic acid based testing, whatever we learned in the COVID era, we have now upgraded to TB diagnostics, and now we are working in close collaboration with NIRT, which is the National Center for the tuberculosis work, and the technology we put it up for validation for them for the first part in the general screening. Last week we got the report and it is very, very promising with 100% sensitivity and specificity. Our device has been certified by NIRT. Now we are also working on the lipid profile screening test at point of care in this phase, because we are more and more entering into the major non-communicable and communicable disease burden. So cardiovascular disease is a major communicable burden. So we are trying to get a solution for point of care lipid profile testing, which does not exist with that kind of framework in a portable system. Then non-invasive anemia screening, we all know that non-invasive hemoglobin test exists, but there are lots of issues with that in terms of accuracy. So we are trying to combine that with a machine learning and AI driven solution to make it more impactful, and overall we are developing acute respiratory distress decision support system, cardiovascular disease risk assessment system, and overall oral screening decision support system with the help of the previous technology and few other sort of supportive technologies together. So from one technology we are trying to go for a solution for a particular disease burden which combines different technologies and is trying to solve. So this is a very, I think, sort of a collage of many of the technologies, how they are working. So this is this is being displayed. So what you can see is that this is it is just a pocket item that anybody can carry with himself or herself. There are many who need sugar testing throughout the day because of for managing their diabetes, insulin delivery, etc. So you can take these strips, make one sort of lancet based finger prick, and so insert the lancet. I will just run one of these tests and not the other ones because of the interest of time. But the whole idea is that, so this is a bouquet of technologies which we call as smart QR. All these strips are QR coded, all these strips have reagents immobilized, and all these strips, at least this glucose strip has a plasma separation unit in it. It is very difficult to recognize because it looks very simple, but many of the blood tests actually require the separation of plasma from the whole blood, which altogether requires a different thing like centrifuge, etc. in the lab. So we have eliminated every lab component, so everything happens on the strip. And the smartphone picture is taken of the reaction spot. The challenge is that this smartphone based technology has been existing for a very long time, but every smartphone has a different camera setting, and therefore it is very difficult to sort of generalize it. And not only that, the illumination will be different where you are taking the smartphone photo. Not only that, the user's hand may also be shaking and doing different kinds of things. So how do you normalize that? We have used AI to normalize that to an extent that it can be normalized, and the accuracy is within the 10% deviation of the gold standard test. So this has the kit manufacturing license has been given already, and I think that in the next 2-3 months we will be in a position to sort of launch it as one of the major flagship products. So we also have other few interesting tests, like this is a reagent free test, doesn't require a reagent, but you have a strip of paper on which blood gets spread, and by looking into the pattern of the spreading blood, one can actually sort of screen anemia without actually requiring any reagent. So in that way, there are several other technologies, and for the interest of time I am not getting into that. So what we are trying to do, as I told at the very beginning, that trying to sort of looking into personalized healthcare from a holistic viewpoint, where we have point of care devices and their reading and data, but not just that, we have clinical algorithms, some epidemiological data, analytics of the data, and risk categorization. Ultimately that is very, very important. Be a insurance provider or be a doctor or be an individual, it is very, very important to at least know whether you are at risk, or if you are at risk, what is the category of that risk, so that it can get into policies, it can get into a clinical decision support. And very, very importantly, which I always keep on emphasizing on, that medical intervention is not about one number of a diagnostic test outcome. It is a holistic thing, how the patient is behaving, how the patient is feeling, symptoms and all those things, and that is how it should look like. So we have therefore our organized our CRTDH. So this is like a symbol of our CRTDH, you can say, which is a, you can say, medtech R&D unit. So we have our hospital and we have our internal other R&D units along with the CRTDH. So we are trying to act in a hub and spoke model. So we have sort of the technologies being spun out of that, and they are being tested, disseminated everywhere all around in typically at underserved locations, and that is where we are trying to create an impact. And the impact creation is not just by IIT researchers, but including different MSMEs. So this is what sort of I have summarized that what we can offer to MSMEs. Open source instrumentation for manufacturing and R&D support, absolute open source, because this is what is government supported, this is what is by taxpayers money, and therefore this is open source. Anybody can use it so long as the use is correct and is for the benefit of people. Prototyping and testing facilities, regulatory guidance, training and capacity building, market access opportunities, support for scalability and sustainability, shared lab access for incubation, that is also what we are doing, and sustainable revenue model with user friendly incentives. And in fact, we are going to start one rural health clinic with the support of CRTDH, where we are trying to implement this sustainable model by giving smart cards to our rural people, and seeing it is of course on a testing basis, we do not know how it will happen, but eventually we will learn through that. So if you see these pictures, that is a picture when in the COVID-19 everything was shut down, some of our frontline healthcare workers, we tried to train them to make face masks. These are rural girls, very, very poor, and we try to sort of empower them so that they can make their tailoring skills converted to making masks. They formed enterprises, and that gave them sort of the kind of confidence. In the last Chintan Shivir that we organized, some of them were there, and they shared their experiences, and I think it's a life changing experience. From there to interfacing with the school children, you can see that we do some programs in the school, neighboring schools, and with all these, I, as the PI of CRTDH of IIT Kharagpur, I do not see CRTDH as the outcome as 5 technologies, 10 technologies, this and that. I try to see it as a transformative solution. If not today, someday it will happen. So if we see the key achievements that we are looking for, a Make in India scalable and sustainable solution for different global challenges in health, and deployment oriented R&D ecosystem, not a publication driven system, but beyond publication, what is the need for the common people. Facilitate large scale population cohort studies. This is very, very important, because at least these smartphone enabled tests automatically generate a lot of data, and it is very important to analyze this data and see how it can get into epidemiological model on one side and maybe public health research on another side. And it is sort of, we never thought that it will be like that, but it tried to sort of intervene in the livelihood generation, and it gave women's empowerment, rural entrepreneurship, and I am personally very happy to see many of these rural girls are now on their own feet and they are earning for themselves. So it has sort of this is what was my vision, not that I have been completely successful, but with the help of the CRTDH leadership, DSIR leadership, I believe that at the end of this, the second phase, we will be in a position to establish ourselves not just a technology developer, but at the end the friends of the community. So that is what is the summary of what we could do. So thank you very much.